So now I think we should actually begin to say that there are senior yadas and there are ancient yadas. Today, I have an ancient yada in the house. Ruth Baba is going to be sharing her journey. Ruth Baba is one of the yadas that started the inner circle with me. So, of course, when I say ancient yadas, you get it, right? If we have any ancient yada in the house, talk to me in the comment section. Thank you so much, Ruth Baba, for sharing with me on my intentional parenting journey. Ruth Baba is streaming all the way from the UK, and Ruth is going to be sharing her journey this morning with us. And Ruth Baba is on all fronts, someone I know on all fronts. You know how you know someone on different fronts. She's a masterpiece woman, obviously, and she is a senior yada. Now I have changed it. Oh, Coach Malala, are you in the house? Ancient yadas, Coach Malala, Auntie Etima, Gold Amadi, Top Star. I see you guys. Minister Tinua Day. I see you guys. I see you. This is going to be an amazing day. I have been able to listen to Ruth Baba's story over the years, a few of them here and there. But today, Ruth is going to be sharing with us right here, right here. Ruth, I'm missing your cake in Abuja. Ruth lives in Abuja and Japan abroad. And now I can no longer see her cake. She used to bring me cake every month. I'll just see one cake like that. I'm like, so now I cannot even eat cake again. Welcome here, Ruth Baba. This is so good to see you here. Welcome.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate you. Thank you for the privilege and the opportunity. Good morning, Yadas and incoming Yadas. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you so much, Ruth. So, Ruth, you're going to tell them the story. How did you get into the inner circle? How did you get here? Who brought you here? What brought you here? How come you have stayed all the way? Tell us which year you joined. Tell us why you are still here. Senior Yadas will not leave me. Tell us why you are still here. And tell us that, just let us know. Let's start the story from the beginning. I'm sure that you guys are going to be hearing a lot of stories, back end stories today about Coach Wendy. And I know some of you who just think that we're doing this thing for you. We've been doing this thing since. So even when we had only 2 people in the house, we have been shouting like this. Right? Let's go there. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Coach. So my journey started 2020, exactly 9th of June 2020 on a Tuesday. I have 2 boys, 15 and 12 presently. So as in, I was having issues. How would I raise these boys? In fact, it got to a point where I was like, this thing is not in our lineage. We don't have this. You know how we tie everything to spiritual stuff, and I just prayed in my heart and was like, God, please, I need help, because I remember something happened, and I cried to the proprietor's office that morning, and it was a simple issue, but just lack of knowledge just messed everything up. And I came back. I was like, God, you need to help me here. And that was how, the way they send random links to your Facebook page and you just open. That was how someone sent your link to the Facebook link to my page, and I just opened it, and that was it. And it was a Tuesday live, how God orders the steps of the righteous. It was a Tuesday live, and that was how I listened. And there's no way you listen to Coach that you wouldn't want more, because she leaves you wanting more. How she does it, I don't know. So that was it. 9th of June 2020. That was when I listened to you, and it was on Raising Boys. I was like, thank God. See what I'm looking for. From Raising Boys, immediately I chatted you up after the live session, and you said, you told me, you gave me the breakdown of everything I needed to do, pay for this course, and it was back-to-back courses. It was like there was a gap, and then I needed something to fill it up, and you were just giving me back-to-back. So at a point, I was like, how we like free things, Nigerians now. Is it parenting I'm paying for again? As in, am I not doing you a favor, Seth? Trying to get go along with you and stuff like that. But the more I stayed, the more I felt, will I say, felt fed, because you were filling in the gap and everything. At a point, I was like, this one is one chance. So, as in, you are paying for everything from raising boys, emotional intelligence, learning style. They were yelling to calm, and I was like, but all of them, I needed it. So from that, I had to reorientate myself that I've gotten help, so I have to pay for it. That was how I came to understand that if you need help, you can, as in, you can't even pay for value. That's the truth of the matter. You can't pay for value. So I just had to enter the yard, became a yarder. Until then, I'm still in the yard. There's no going out. There's no backing out. Even when it seems like some things are not working, we just keep going. So that was how my journey started. And interestingly, the person that sent me that link has never again sent me another link. So it was like the Holy Spirit just said, this person just, orchestrated it. And that's all I can say. I've never received, I don't receive links from the person, but this time around, it was just that one and only link that she has ever sent. And that's how my journey started.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. If you're just joining us, you are live on My Intentional Parenting Journey. You have Ruth Baba. Ruth Baba is a yada. No, scratch that. Ruth Baba is an ancient yada. Do we have ancient yadas in the house? Ruth Baba has been one of those people that have walked this journey from the beginning and up till now. Ruth is also a masterpiece woman. When you come in contact with Ruth, maybe because I've come in contact with her severally, different platforms, different avenues, you just fall in love with her. Masterpiece woman, am I speaking your voice? Am I speaking your mind? Yes, you do. Thank you so much, Ruth Baba, for being here. And of course, before we just started, Mr. Baba was in the background and he had to run out. Tell him that I'm here screaming his name. Shout out to him. And really, Ruth said something. She said, somebody just sent me a link. Most times we actually look at some of these things and we just say, I don't want to send anybody. Have you sent someone a link this morning? Ruth even remembers the date the link was sent to her. That's how important it is in the process of her life. 9th of June 2020. If there is anybody here, who's going to put your name in a conversation and say 14th of October 2024? One link God sent to me, and that was how everything really changed, right? I can see an old friend asking if I'm right live. Yes, I am. Ogaga, I see you. And yes, if there is that person, let's go share the link now. You will be shocked at what it is that you're going to be doing for that one person. You can't even beat that. All right. So Ruth is sharing on My Intentional Parenting, and she said that's how her journey started. A simple Tuesday life. And we have been saying every day that, you need to do, share the link, share it, invite people and all of that. That's how people actually find their miracle. By invitation. That woman, the Samaritan woman that Jesus actually had a contact with, and she ran, spreading the news, everybody. Be that person. I begin to spread that news now. Tell us if you have not shared this link with anybody. Share it on your status. Share it to someone. And Ruth said, that's the only link that I've ever shared to me. The only one. Maybe God actually was really, looking out for you. Not maybe, really, God was looking out for you to stay the list. All right. I see you, Coach Molola. Yes, these are the ancient yadas. We've been doing life together, very much so. And I just, please permit me to rave over ancient yadas today. Don't be angry. These guys, when the inner circle started, I'm sure Ruth remembers, the inner circle started like, we're just going, some of the things we're doing now were not clear. But these guys just said, you know what? I know wherever it's going, we are going. And every year they just return and just say, Coach, we are here with you. We're not going anywhere. So the inner circle has expanded, become so big and everything. Nah, they are not lost in the system. No, they are not. You will still have the touch of the ancient yadas every corner that you see them. Shout out to you guys again. So Ruth is sharing with us, and Ruth is streaming live all the way from UK, and she's going to be sharing on her journey. So Ruth, talk to us. How has I know that you have a lot of how the inner circle have affected your life. So let's go straight in there. Your life, your business, your career, everything that you're doing currently. Over to you, Ruth Baba.
Okay, shout out to my ancient fellow Yadas. Thank you for your time. Okay, TIP has reformed every aspect of my life. Let me start with myself. Of course, I'm not, well, we always say that this is my temperament, and so we hide behind temperament. But temperament helped really. If you want to be heard, you really need to come out of that shell, and that is what TIP did for me, in the sense that it helped me boost my confidence. And coming from Nigeria to another part of the world, I had to step up my game. And already, every time I do anything, I always have the picture of Coach Wendy in mind, as in no fall her hand, that kind of a thing, as in you are the daughter of a lion, so you have to behave and act like her. There's no backyard or anything. So I'm grateful because TIP helped me start to come out and give me a voice, in the sense that I don't see something going bad and keep quiet, especially in this part of the world where anything goes. I have learned to speak up, because there's this phrase that says evil thrives because good people refuse to speak up. And for me, one thing I've always uh, held on to is the fact that, yes, even if you get a no, it's also a response. Go back to the drawing board and, do it better or learn from it, so that you come out stronger and better. And that has really helped me. And then it has also, there's no way you will be in TIP that you can't be a better person. It was, I sent Coach that when I was given an invitation to come and speak on a platform. And how did I get it? As it was just normal comment on WhatsApp. I just made my own contribution, and it was all on. I'm very passionate about parenting as well, because I see it as in it's not something I sleep on. So I just made a comment on that platform, and that's how the convener slid into my DM and said that he want me to come on one of his platform, as in one of these days, and that was it. I was like, I say me, me that I just made simple contribution, but I'm grateful to God. This is what TIP did for me. It has given me a voice. And the truth of the matter is, because we dine with wisdom and knowledge almost on a daily basis, even from not almost on a daily basis, because even the voice notes, are powerful. How many people will tell you, have a nice day, I'm rooting for you? I mean, you don't get that every day, trust me. But in TIP, you get it. And that's why there's no going out, there's no going back. It's better to stay in, And I'm grateful that it has also helped me help my family. I'm the third of 6 children. And every time my mom wants to take a decision, she always looks out for me, as in she will call. In fact, there was a time that for 3 days she said she couldn't connect with me. She had to send my sister a message to get across to me. And I was like, I hope all is well. She had something burning in her heart that she needed someone to talk to and advise her on. And I'm so grateful that, I have taken, as in, I'm in that position where I'm able to give her wise counsel. And by the time she spoke, she told me what the issue was. I understood with her, because that's one thing I've learned from TIP. Don't dismiss anybody's grievance or anybody's whatever they tell you. Empathize with them. That's the starting point. You empathize with them and make them feel heard, and make them know that, yes, you are listening and you hear, you feel, you understand with them. Don't dismiss it. And before I knew it, we're able to come up with a solution. And I can't even thank God enough, because this was only made possible by the help of TIP. And then with my children, the courses and then the webinars, the books, they have been so helpful. I came from I never loved reading books. It was, for me, I just prefer to watch TV, as in watch movies and then go. But I had to, entering the yard, you don't have a choice. It's part of it. You have to read. When I when I entered the TIP, coach told me she was going to put me into, as in add me into the group, and group of reading. She as in that phrase was there, as in where we read books, and it was going to be every month. So you have to be buying books every month. That was a big challenge for me. But today I move around with books. In fact, when we went for February this year, when we came for Masterpiece, you won't believe that I dropped food to carry books, because I came within, that it can only happen in TIP. How do you travel all the way to Nigeria and then you drop food stuff, you reduce food stuff and carry books? You can That's the mind shift, And I'm so glad, because when I was coming to Nigeria, I just prepared to buy books for myself, buy all the books for the children as well, because they are also in a mentoring system, and I'm grateful that TIP just rewires your mind and gives you a different orientation altogether. And for my marriage, I'm grateful because you can't you don't thrive in knowledge and pride. You thrive in knowledge and wisdom. And most
Mm.
times you think because you have knowledge, then you can assert authority over every sphere of, even in the home, where the man is really the priest and the head. And so it helped me understand this and separate it. So coach, where you say you've discussed something with your husband, and then he's delaying, and then you feel because you have money or you have the means, you just go ahead and purchase it. That is pride, really. But I have learned to humble myself and just wait. And you see that at the end of the day, it even surpasses what you actually intended to do. Okay, for example, we moved into our own home, and then we needed to do the garden. And for me, I had discussed with my husband, let's do this garden. I'm a prompt person. I see something, I jump on it. I don't like to waste time. But he takes his time to, analyze and just look into it. He doesn't jump on it. And it vexes me. But I had to I had to calm down. So he took a while before he decided to do the garden. But at the end of the day, trust me, I loved it when he took charge of the garden, because we shopped for the soil, the manure and everything. But on that day, he just said, go and sit down. Him and the boys, they will handle it. And he went into the garden. They handled the planting of the flowers, and he taught them. He brought agriculture. This is something I never thought of. My own would have just been to go and get the materials and plant and go and admire my garden. But no, because I waited, because I just had to come. I applied wisdom here and allowed him take his place. I was able to get more out of it. And I'm grateful to God. And, for the children, truly, I have been able to understand them, because raising boys, I'm a woman, I don't know everything. Raising boys, it's really a tough work, I would say. But when with TIP, I have come to understand the type of boys I'm raising. And this has helped me. I came from that background where education was just it. Just face your studies. When you finish your studies, you can now do other things. You understand? I'm from that WhatsApp group. But thank God for TIP, because it really liberated me, because there are so many things, other skills we teach you that you can't get in the educational system. That's the truth of the matter. And they are both boys. They are so in love with, they are so passionate about football. So my house, we're all football fans. And surprisingly, three of us were for Barcelona, and then one of my son is for Real Madrid. And I love it like that, because imagine when we are both playing, we have to console, we have to be happy for each other, it's it's just amazing. So I got them to train, they got uh, I put them in an academy, football academy. And I'm grateful because that has really helped them in other aspects. That if I had just concentrated on education, it wouldn't have worked at all, And they've been able to build resilience. They've been able to be more responsible. They are 12 and 15, and they go to their training on their own. As in by bus, I don't follow them. Of course, initially you have to teach them, and after that, they're on their own. But one thing we have also learned to do is to always be present during their matches, because they have games every Saturday. They have trainings within the week. But within the week, they go on their own. In fact, there was a time that they went for training, and then they took time before they came back. Sometimes their trainings are 7 to 8, 7 p.m. to 8. Yeah, it's late, really. And then they were taking time to come back. My husband came to me and said, these children are not back. Oh. Or will I go and check them? I say, where? Allow them, they will come back. As in, where will I start from, Seth? And you won't believe it that it wasn't long. We just heard them gisting and coming back home from the window. And what happened? They said by the time they got to the bus stop, they missed the bus. So they just decided that instead of waiting for the next bus, which might be like in 20 or 30 minutes time, let them just start coming back home, by foot. And that's like 20 minutes walk. So, so sometimes we just worry. There's no lion anywhere, and all these things build their independence. And then they are able to do groceries themselves. We don't do shopping for the home. They do it themselves. The two of them, they've picked Thursdays as their shopping days, and they do it effortlessly. And we are grateful. From back home when sometimes when Coach Wendy shows us walking of her children, it's very easy for us to jump on it and say, but the process, it's a lot, in the sense that, when we had the review on Friday, I was like, my patience moved to long suffering because it was a lot. It was a lot. And I could not back down, that kind. If I stop now, I'll spoil it. But we just keep going because there is, we know where we are going. And I'm grateful that right now, they make their meals. We don't have anything to do with their cooking. They cook turn by turn. And I'm grateful. Thank you, TIP. That was a lifesaver, a life-changing moment for me. Thank you so much, Coach.
Wow, wow, wow. Of course, an ancient theater, you got to see her workings. The workings are workings. And it's so interesting. When Ruth said, my first son is 15, the other one, I was almost like, what happened here? I know these boys now. Are they reached 15 already? How life moves so fast. I was going to stop her to say, 15? Really? And I realized the twins are almost 15, really, actually. It's just that we don't really think about it. Thank you so much, Ruth Baba, for sharing your journey. Did you hear, Ruth? Many times when we teach some of those things, people say, in the abroad, it's not the same. It doesn't work the same way. It works everywhere. Wherever you are, it works anywhere. Your children can go on their own anywhere if you train them to. We have a lot of yadas. Their children go to school on their own in Nigeria, in anywhere. I met this yada in Singapore. She said the child goes to training. I think she's like 10 or so on her own. As in, it's not a big deal. It's not anywhere you are. The principles are the same. I know when Ruth started talking, Ruth said something. She said that when she, that TIP gave her the boost of her, her confidence and being able to actually speak, I started laughing because the way Ruth's voice is strong today. Should I talk, Ruth? Child. As in, I'm listening to her, I'm like, I'm fanning myself, like, I'm proud. Like, hey, what's happening here? If you had met Ruth Baba 5 years ago, 4 years ago, you're going to be like, I was what? The first time I met Ruth, she was, just talking. Her voice cannot even come out. And, and she said something. She said, we actually do all of those things. And we say, oh, our temperament. Oh, that's who we are. Oh, that's how we are. Remember that when we were teaching about the skills of extra last week, I said, your extra is there for you to shine your light. God does not know introvert and extrovert. God wants all of us to shine our light so bright that every single one of us actually will be able to influence people. That is it. See, if you knew Ruth before now, I'm sure you will understand the transformation I'm talking about. As in, the transformation is tangible, it's palpable. See me excited. Like, come on now, let's go there. And of course, by the time Ruth, was moving, Ruth, talk to me about your transition from Nigeria to, living abroad. Because, of course, in fact, our transition was like a walk in the park in quotes, and, all of the things that you will see Japa parents actually deal with. But she's going to talk about that herself. But, Ruth also said something, all right? And she said, in this place, we try with knowledge and wisdom, not knowledge and pride. Keep your pride somewhere else. We are not interested in your pride. I know it all. I can do it. I can do all things. Keep it somewhere. We want you to come and learn these things and exemplify them. She said something. She said, sometimes the things you actually do is pride. You cannot do it. Your husband cannot do it. Just rush. That's masterpiece story. I'm not going to go deeper inside. I remember that during the retreat, we hammered on this topic. And sometimes we're actually in a hurry. I used to be in that WhatsApp group. So where are you guys? Are we together? Where you are telling your husband, you're like, what is it? Let me just move. As per woman with her own money, shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys. But hey, one of the things you're going to learn in the inner circle is how to put yourself under, how to put yourself, humble yourself, and walk the journey in humility. And then deal with it. Ruth also talked about how her boys, I know these boys so, as in I know them. Is how her boys, then they go for training themselves, they do transport themselves, they cook themselves, they do groceries themselves. These things are key. I remember that 2 years ago, no, not 2 years ago, last year, while we were 2 years ago, when we were in the UK for vacation, and when we were putting up the places that we needed to be, we were trying to choose and be able to locate the grocery shop. We're like, is Tesco around? And then we told the twins, I said, but the twins were rooting. Let Tesco not be too far because we now walk so long. You and mommy will not be sleeping. It was very funny to my husband and I because it was very obvious that they knew that this waka is part of their waka. So when you get in there, you are going to, whether you are in Nigeria or you are in the inside the moon, you will do the work, and you are going to do the work. You will go and get groceries, you go and cook. It's not that hard, and there is no lion anywhere. Ruth, talk to us about your transition. How is it that what happened to you when we were transitioning? Let's hear it.
Okay, thank you, Coach, again. Transitioning was effortless, honestly. There was no struggle. One thing, when we came here, and I'm so excited because what most people were concerned about the children, as in the fact that how are they doing, as in are they fitting in well? And trust me, my children, as in there was no issues at all, nothing, like they just fit in perfectly. And in fact, my son came and started causing havoc, good havoc, in the sense that he's, of course, he's a trophy child. And then he just came, and the way the system is, the way we bombard Nigeria, they bombard students with assignments, loads of assignments. The boy came and was like, as in they were just suffering them in Nigeria because they were not giving them assignments really over here. All they were doing, in fact, we had to go and confirm from the school, myself and my husband, because we're like, how would they give you assignment? And they said, they're already doing a lot in school. Besides, they're in primary school. When they get to secondary, they will now they have loads of work to do. So, and they said the boy comes to even help them solve maths because he's good, helps to, and he came in and entered into competition, won I wasn't even around. I sent coach the picture and the met. I went for a retreat, and the boy just came and told me that he had entered for a slogan competition and they were going to vote, and that was it. And he won the competition like that. And I'm grateful because we identified these things back from home in Nigeria. We enrolled them for public speaking. And it was through TIP that I was privileged to enroll him for public speaking. And he was able to, go on the TEDx platform, to give a presentation where he did it so well, and I'm just so grateful because even myself transitioning, it wasn't easy getting a job. But of course, I back home in Nigeria, I'm an entrepreneur. So I didn't even look at it from that angle. I was busy applying for HR jobs and the rest, waiting for applications to be approved and stuff. And then my husband just said, that's another thing, unity in marriage. He just said, but you have this skill now, as in, why don't you apply in this area? And that was it. That was what did the magic for me. The fact that you can't get it through your certificate, you can get it through your skills. And that's why it's important that we also focus on skill acquisition for our children. And that was the game changer for me. So transitioning I don't feel that I've even missed anything or I'm missing out on anything. It's just that I see white people almost everywhere. That's the only difference. But nothing has changed. Nothing.
Amazing. Most times when people relocate, the children actually are not stable enough to get into that system. I remember when Ruth Baba, relocated. That this journey is me and Ruth Baba were sharing it together. I know this journey too plenty. Please forgive me if you think I'm sharing her journey myself. And I remember that when they got in, the children didn't feel intimidated. They didn't have self-esteem issues. They were not, there saying it's only white people. My children are not coping. They are not going to. You see all those draggy things. It is training. If your child doesn't really understand what it is, right here, they're not trained to understand being able to play in places. It will be difficult for them anywhere. So it has nothing to do with, wherever it is really that you are. It is in the place where the child has been trained, has been skilled up. It was easy for the child to get into a space. He was not intimidated by seeing only white-skinned people. The guy got in and said, you know what, I'm a champion. It doesn't matter where I am. And boom, he's inside competitions. He's inside. It's the self-esteem that he has. It wasn't about what he knew. It was about the confidence, of how he has been trained, where he's coming from, all of the trainings and all of that. I remember when during that public speaking event, I said, Yadas, take your children. Let us occupy this space. And I still remember that TEDx event had the other children speaking. I think Coach Mary Beth's son was there also at that TEDx. He was TEDx for kids. Amazing event. And these children just, took it off on the rope. And you would think that these trainings are just, they just want us to pay money. No, that's the way many people think about it. Hey, they just want us to pay money for this thing. Are you sure that Meanwhile, this is equipping the child. This is equipping the child for what it is the child is going to see tomorrow. Shout out to you, Coach Mary Beth. All right, this is equipping the child for what it is that the child is supposed to do today, tomorrow. The child gets into a space. You don't even know what it is that boosted him. And you find out that it's just the tools I have done, the small things I have done. The guy was already a math guru, so math was already a thing. So he entered there, stunted in this guy. What are they doing? This guy, what are they talking about? So let's just get in there and let's just move. Thank you so much. You're listening to Ruth Baba. Ruth Baba is an ancient yada. Ancient yadas, are you in the house? Yes, Ruth Baba has been in the inner circle from the start of the inner circle, and she's still here. Let me tell you what ancient yadas did. They finished the levels, and then they got to a point. I wasn't in that meeting. They had a meeting. They said, I don't know where coach is going, but wherever it is, you know what? Let's go back to level 1. So I came for book review, the next book review. I was like, so, we're not there. They said, no, we're not going anywhere. We're just going back to level 1. We're going to start all over. I said, what's happening? You guys are like my bragging rights now. You're supposed to be going, and then we'll be going, and then you're not going to be teaching with me. They say, coach, I beg, that one not trap. Teach with you where? We're still training children. We're still we are not joining you. I think, well, these guys are supposed to, what's happening? The next thing I saw all of them in level one, started all over. And if you see them, Coach Omalala, they've been through the ranks, they've been there, done that in quotes, right? And they're like, you know what? This is it. We're starting all over and we're picking it all over. I read something recently and it says teaching, repeating is more important than teaching itself. Sometimes you actually think, now what you need to do is to learn. Sometimes what you need to do is to reinforce. Sometimes what you need to do is to reinforce. And that reinforcement is what makes all of the difference. Nurse Mary said, we just relocated a month ago, and my children adapted like they've been here for ages. In fact, their teachers are marveled at how well mannered they are. I am not missing anything back home. I get it. I get it. That's what inner circle does for you. You just get into the system and you are just in that system. If you're just joining us live this morning, we are live with Ruth Baba. Ruth Baba is sharing her journey and she is chronicling her journey. It's Elizabeth Shawaya. Elizabeth Shawaya is your sister-in-law or your sister? Which one? Because I know
my,
that that's
my sister.
I know that that's your maiden name now. Correct. All right. It's interesting. Ruth Baba's sister-in-law was my boss at some point. Life is very interesting. Yeah. She was my boss when I was in the bank. Interesting story. And shout out to her. She's one of the people that trained me. When you talk about somebody being disciplined, David Shawya was very disciplined, very disciplined. And shout out to her anytime, any day. So yes, you're listening to Ruth Baba this morning. So Ruth, tell us. You've listened to plenty webinars. I don't even know where we're going to start this webinar Wahala from. Because this webinar thing, if you are talking to senior, if I bring Coach Omolana now to talk about webinar, she will give us master class. We are about to listen to a master class, Sha. So Sha gets ready. So Ruth, talk to us about the webinars. What is it that you've been able to do with them, and how have they been able to affect your journey? Over to you.
Okay, thank you again, Coach. Uh, the webinars that hit me are the ones that are needed at that point in time. So the first one will be, who am I parenting? Because the
Mm,
truth of the matter is, if you don't know who you are parenting, as in, there's going to be a lot of conflict and clash. And then I have the extrovert, I have the introvert. So if I don't know who I'm parenting, I'll be parenting them the same way and then thinking they have the problem. And meanwhile, it's myself that does not understand how to go about it. So, and my youngest, excuse me, is a strong-willed child. Honestly, he wants to it's a lot, but we because we are armed with knowledge, we go through it. And then initially we were doing this power struggle.
mm,
And you know how you said, with strong-willed children, in fact, that's what they thrive on. They love it. They are just
yeah.
waiting to bring it on, and they just keep going. I was not like, they fear face, that kind of thing. But for where in fact, there was a family meeting we had, and then we had discussed, and after finishing, the boy just stood up and said, so you people have just concluded and you now gathered us that we are having a meeting. My husband was like, if not because of me, he would have given him what he needed. But I was grateful, and I was happy the way he was so confident, because that shows me where he's going to. And then I
Mm,
was like, I just smiled and I told him, I love your confidence. And I had to sit him down and tell him that, see, you're going somewhere. You are a leader, but there's a way to say these things. There's a way to put these things. And he
mm,
understood. Of course, if it was me before, would have turned the whole place upside down, thinking that will help, but it will just make matters worse. So, and then with my introvert son, I understand where he's coming from. So I'm patient with him. And then we keep teaching. We keep repeating. Like you said, we have to become Ndaboski repeaters, because that is when eventually it will sink in. And the truth is, by the time he picks it, he gets it and he runs with it. So
mm,
it's all about patience. Who am I parenting? Very, very, it was very, very it was one of my best webinars. And then the second one was how to teach your children time and energy management. Well, it was first for me, because you know how TIP just helps you shine the light on that darkness that looks like light to you. We were all forming busy, but we were not managing our energy well, because you can't manage time. We all have 24 hours. You just need to manage. I'm that person that, I love clean spaces. I can wake up early in the morning, first thing in the morning, and I'm cleaning. I bring out all, even the ones that don't need cleaning. I just want everywhere to be sparkling clean. I can see pin, and then I'll go and pick it. And then I'll sit down and then relax and be happy with myself. Meanwhile, I have spent all the energy. I'm an early morning person, so I've spent all the energy, to do cleaning. And then when it's time to sit down, do connection tools or read book, before you know it, you are tired and you are sleepy, and you just
Mm.
keep procrastinating, and that's how it keeps going. But you know when you come to my space, as in the way I would, even my cupboard is arranged though, but I'll just bring out everything. I want to rearrange it. I don't understand, and with for me it was normal. So it just helped me understand better that I need to manage my energy better. And because I'm an early morning person, I realized that I'm more productive in the mornings. So I use my mornings right now to read my book to the extent I can read it, have my devotion, and then do some other things, listen to voice notes before I set out for the day. And then it goes on like that. So I needed to understand that aspect before I can teach my children. And that's why TIP always says parenting is first about you. And I'm grateful that that came in timely, because all along, that's why we can't meet up with task. You've really done something in the day, but you discover that by the time you run through it, as in what exactly have you can't put your hands on what you have done exactly. And I'm grateful that that was a game changer. Then the other one was peace as a skill. Peace as a skill, I came to understand it because parenting, you need peace, as in you need, as it, you can't, when you are parenting, there are so many things that hit you. And so you can how do you remain calm when everywhere is just all messed up, and
Mm.
and all, as in tempers are rising? How do you remain calm in that situation? So peace as a skill by Coach Chidoze was very, very timely for me, because you have to parent in peace and calm. You're trying to help your children regulate their emotions. And for me, aside peace being a skill, peace became a person, because it's not the absence of chaos, but it's also, as in as in what you are able to do in the midst of that chaos. So peace for me is a person. Peace
Mm.
is me, and I am peace at the end of
Mm.
the day. Because things that you should naturally react to, you are able to be calm, to be able to think through and then take action. And it is in such situations that you are able to prefer solutions, and not just get, as in just tips and hacks or things that would not last. Because during those periods, you are also able to connect with your children. Like the other day, my eldest son he mistakenly, and I say mistakenly because he's I know him as he's organized, and he has not made that kind of mistake before. So he mistakenly, we were putting clothes in the laundry, and he mistakenly put his sportswear and the trousers into the washing machine. So when it was time for him to wear, he just discovered that it wasn't anywhere. So he went back to the washing machine to check. Lo and behold, it was inside, and it's just one he has. Well, I was just looking at him and I was like, okay, this is a good place, because everything that happens, I'm looking for teachable moments. That is
Mm.
one thing IP helps you do too. You're not looking for faults, you're looking for teachable moments, connection time,
Mm.
with them. And so he mistakenly did that. And I saw it as a teachable moment for him. And I asked him, okay, as in it can happen to anyone. This is a mistake. And he had to iron it and wear it like that. Of course, I didn't profile, and he brought the solution himself, because we are learning how they must think independently when the issues come. And then I asked him, what can you do next time? And then he told me that he's going to separate his he's going to separate his clothes, his sports clothes, from the other shirts. He has two of it, so when one is dirty, he can use the other one. And you won't believe it, and that was it. If not, that morning, if I had pounced on him, his mood in school would have been tampered with, and that wouldn't be okay for him. And so you won't believe that he came back that day and he washed his sportswear that day, because he didn't want a repeat of it. So I didn't teach him what to do, and I didn't overreact. I just saw it as a teachable moment and a connection time with him. And that really went a long way. So I'm grateful for all this. The webinars are all, nothing should be trashed, or nothing should be down. But I mean, 3. I've given 3. I don't want to go more than that.
Yes, thank you so much, Ruth Baba. Who are the WhatsApp group that people that cook jollof rice early in the morning? You use your burst of energy. You wake up at 4 a.m. You are cooking jollof rice. The most mundane thing to do. You do it with the highest level of your energy. In fact, that energy and time management webinar, I think, was a game changer for a lot of people, because we are all screaming we don't have time. Well, Dr. Kisom, who was here on Friday, that said, you see this, we don't have time to. It's not true. You actually have time. It's just a language of poor time managers. I don't have time. I don't have time. And then we even chronically now, like, I want to pose this guy, and I know, I'm actually a very busy mom, very busy dad. I don't have time and all of that. So we just want to tell ourselves that we're busy. Most times you're not as busy as you say. It's just that you lack the knowledge to actually be able to manage your energy, not your time. Because you don't have, you can't own time. Time is 24 hours, it doesn't change. But your energy level, you can boost it, you can decrease it, you are the one. You are the one that will do it. Somebody said I used to cook jollof rice early in the morning. 4 a.m. early in the morning, you start. Alrighty. I'm sure that the bearders who are coming in newly are wondering, what are they talking about? Get in. All right. Get in, and you will hear, the things that had happened to you. So, of course, and Ruth also talked about using teachable moments, not finding faults. This is one thing that changes your parenting game. This morning I was sending in a voice note. Who listened to that voice note this morning? And I said, don't scratch that thing that told you that your children will not have issues, or once you start doing the right thing, things will happen. Mistakes are going to happen. According to my son, I remember one time I had done something, and we said, hey, how could you have done a thing like this? Like, this is not you. And he said, man, mommy, the devil is trying to set me up, man. Like, could it have been even me? I'm in shock. Of course, my son is a drama king. There are a lot of things that our son say in the house that just, amazing. That instead of us to get angry at that moment, all of us just busted into laughter. It was so funny. It was like, this is a real setup. That the devil himself. Because right now, I've finished everything. I've done it. See, if you have that mentality that you are, going on a journey so that you can help your children, instead of finding fault, it changes everything for you. But if you're on a journey of, hey, I want to hear, let me work, and that's how we were raised, though. Our parents were always waiting for the mistake. As soon as the mistake happens, they bounce on you. It's as if somebody is on the corner, and that's what most of us are doing. You just wait, let me just see you do that thing. Just try me. You set traps for your children. Like, I don't get it. We are constantly setting traps for little children. I was listening to, and that should be Pastor Chris the other day, talking about parenting, and he said that he has never been able to understand how parents keep malice with their children. A child does something, you are upset about it. In the morning, they greet you, say, I'm like, you did that, and I had a good laugh. But most people do it. You keep malice with the child because the child have done something. You're angry, you'll be carrying face. The child cannot talk to you. I don't understand. Who is the parent? Who is the child? So most times we're actually in the, in the place where we just set traps, right? Thank you. Brenda said that last man parenting. Last man parenting. Instead of you to be a correct, correct and guide, you set trap. You want to catch them doing something, doing something wrong. You're just in one corner. Maybe this boy have not done his assignment. Let me wait in the morning. By the time I wake up in the morning, he has not done his, I will deal with him. He doesn't know what's coming for him. If you are in that WhatsApp gang, you're wrong. You're break that table, come out of it, fall from that table, fall now from that table. Because that's the kind of thing, right? That we actually just sit down and just, because that's what we know. That's what we know. Remember those days? Your parents will tell you, let me come back and the food that is not made. You even say, we even say, if my mother comes home and everywhere is not clean, I'm in trouble. Why? Why do you want to set trap for a child you were given to actually guide? Are you a last man? You're just there. You want to jump into the car. You know how last man in Lagos, I like the way they do those things. You're sitting there, the person will just jump in front of your car. Once you do anything, don't do anyhow, they don't jump. So somebody is just at the corner. You're constantly at the corner. Just waiting. I actually think that that's demonic. It's not right. It's evil. Evil. And evil something, according to my son. Evil. You just sit down and you are forming evil in your heart. If you are there, I pray for you today that you are delivered forever and ever. But for your deliverance to be complete, you actually need to be that person who is able to learn, can get equipped. Ruth Baba is streaming all the way from the UK, and she's sharing on my intentional parenting journey. I want Ruth to actually share with us. At least Ruth have lived in Nigeria, lived in the UK, being able to actually look at those two scenarios. I want her to share with us how she's able to do her journey, doing this over the years. And she was also a very busy person even while in Nigeria. Ruth, I want you to share with us. A lot of parents are listening to us now, and they are saying, this this parenting thing, I cannot do it. It's in the abroad. You know how we all say it. We live in the abroad. Coach will not understand. We all live in the abroad. Oshe. We all live in the abroad. All these things that they are saying, I'm working 100 hours. I can't keep up. How will I tell my children to carry out help? Before you share that, I once met a yada in the US who, when she came in, she was a nurse. She was working and she had 3 boys and she was a single mother. She said, Coach, I was now here. My children were going haywire. My children were becoming, in quotes, useless. And I could see it right in front of me. She said, I joined the inner circle. I started to realize I had 16-year-olds who couldn't cook. 18-year-olds who I was going to take from basketball, team. This. She said, I was overwhelmed. And she said, started to apply for tools. I remember when I was in the US, we were like, I can go anywhere. Where are you, Coach? I'll just come. Wherever you are, it's okay. I was like, wow. As in, you are now here, say, I'm balling. You get to a point where you begin to ball. Over to you, Ruth Baba. Talk to us.
Okay. The truth is, you need to have a mind of your own. A lot of people come relocate and they just listen to what other people are saying. You are not other people. And it's very easy for us to tell our children that don't join others. You are not others. But sometimes people will just, and a lot of Africans or Nigerians do that a lot in diaspora. As in, they'll just tell you, you can never do this, so you can never achieve this. You can't be this. Everything is can't. And I'm like, why is it can't everywhere? Well, I don't have a mind of your own and believe what you set out to do. The truth is, they come here and then they do excess and they term it extra. As in, you see people do extra hours. They do in real sense, they are doing excess, and that excess weighs them down, and then it takes your time and everything. You just need to plan, as in, what there are no plans, so you don't know how to go about it. Anything that comes, you take it. And the another thing is, when you think of, especially weekends, when you have double pay, when you convert it in naira, you now see it's huge money, and then it's, let me just do it. Oh, I have bills to pay and stuff like that, and you sacrifice it for important things. I'm not saying your job to pay bills are not important, but like you taught us, prioritize, as in, nothing touches my Saturdays and my Sundays, because those are times that we bond as a family, as in. And then on Sundays, I don't, as in, those are days that I go to church, so you have to separate these things. If you don't do that, you can easily get carried away and just stay back and say you do online service, and that in itself is derailing. So we must learn to have a mind of our own. We came, and people were like, it's not possible. People, they just believe that it's not possible for you to be well settled until after you have spent years abroad, before you can own a house, own a car and stuff. While we were coming, we had it planned out. We're like, see, as in, when we come, the first thing we want to do is own our own home. That was what we planned, myself and my husband. And we just stayed in a rented apartment for 1 year. And in less than 2 years, we're staying in an apartment of our own. We've owned our own home. This is something that people have stayed there. In fact, they're asking us, how did you guys do it? We just executed our plan. We had a plan and executed it. And it's not as if, because you are doing a well-paid job. No, you just have a plan and you execute it. So it's all about execute, as in having a plan and executing it. And the truth is, don't you, like, what voices are you listening to? Because it's very easy to the louder the voice, that then you will be able to know whether you can really move or you can't move. And most of the voices you hear is, you can't, it's not now, it's too early. But what do you believe, and what are you pursuing? So have a mind of your own. Whatever you set out to do, of course, in all of this, commit it into God's hands. I remember when we went for viewing of the house. In fact, we're number 80 something on the list, because over here you have shortage of houses, but you have more people. But we didn't allow that derail us. We wanted this. And when you talk about honor, even in your conversations, we put out a mail, and we were so honorable in our mail and everything. And before you knew it, the lady, as in, gave us an exemption, and just accelerated it for us. And that, we don't know anybody from anywhere. We're in a foreign, we don't know anybody. Now, people who have stayed here 4-5 years are now asking us, how did you guys do it? We are the ones now trying to show them the way. So you must have a mind of your own. And then we must also avoid this excess that we extra, because those things can really derail. And then you will find out that when you sit down and calculate this thing, the extra jobs you are taking, you are paying huge tax on it. So I would rather spend time with family than pay tax, so much tax at the end of the day. So what you are getting is not much. So how will I spend? No money can pay for that time, really. So it's just about orientation, having a plan, and then speaking to the right people. That is a game changer, honestly.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I think one of the biggest takeaways from this session is that don't do excess, do extra. Yeah, 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 yeah. I told you that inner circle parents have insight. When you now combine inner circle masterpiece, almost you are on a rail. I'm listening to Ruth Baba. I'm like, oh, what is that? What did I just hear? And of course, you said your excess, and when she was talking, I just heard your excess weighs you down, your extras elevate you. So don't go for excess. Is that excess that weighs you down? This is Coach Omalala's favorite topic. When you jump out with her research, she said, Mommy London and Mommy Texas, we project your trauma on you. Coach Omalala, stop it now. Stop it. is the mommy, lot of mommy. Every time that we talk, she always mentions this mommy text that. What is the problem? And really, honestly, we like the hearsay. Ruth said something. So when we were going, I was already listening to the right kind of things. I was hearing the I can. So when they were giving me the you can't, she's coming from a place where there's a lot of can. Can. Of course, in the yard, you are going to hear a lot of I can. I can't is a prohibited word in my system. In fact, my staff this morning, I still gave them bars books in morning meeting. Yes, you are wondering, you've already had Monday morning meeting already. And I still said, nobody says this, I can't, I cannot. Don't bring it here. Drop it in your house when you are coming here. Because excuses are tenable. But the truth is that they will not give you result. And while Ruth was sharing, she said something very profound. She said, I even employed honor as a skill while we were trying to put our house. We just go everywhere. We just talk anyhow. We just think that, this thing, after all, that it's beyond that. Honor buys you. Honor buys you access anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. There is nowhere that honor doesn't buy you access. I was still, talking about this honor buying you access. So recently, there was something I noticed. When you see Mark Zuckerberg share his picture or his video, go under it. The people that say the most crassest of things are Nigerians. Unfortunately so. Things like this, your hair, can you dash me? You're carrying all the money. Hi, can you come and give me? And then I saw the one yesterday. I was embarrassed for myself and my countrymen. But that's because we don't understand that honor as a skill is a language of kings. It has nothing to do with where you live, where you are, who you are. And I shared yesterday on Sunday. If you haven't read that story, go and read it on my timeline. I used the picture where the video was lying down for the Olu of Worry. And somebody said, but we are not Yoruba now. This thing that you're teaching is Yoruba people that need to prostrate, bend down. That I say, honor as a language do not know your tribe. And I gave an example to that person. I said, you saw P2B, who is Igbo. Olu of Worry is not Yoruba, by the way. I said, but you saw P2B on his flat greeting the Olu of Worry. I said, what does that tell you? At that level, nothing else matters. Honor is one of the things that is traded. We're so uncultured. We go to places and you just say, I'm my brother after all. We just say things anyhow. Even being able to, somebody once told me that no, in America, you can't really influence the school system. I said, who said so? Says who? As in by who? And he said, no. I said, it's because you don't have what to say. You don't have what to say. Because the truth of the matter is, Chinelo, that's what you saw in the media. Go and look at the real pictures. At that level, those things that's not how you play. You don't have what it takes. If you have what it takes, you get into a room, you'll be listened to. If you have what it takes, you get into a room, any system. The problem is that we go empty. So we just want to make noise because we are used to the braggadociousness. Like, no, why are you? That's the same thing we do in our children's school. We say, oh, they don't listen to us. Oh, you go to fight. How do you go to fight and you want to be listened to? So when you're fighting, everybody's looking at you like, oh, really? When you're done, I will do what it is that I want to do. Nobody rejects knowledge. Nobody. And of course, that knowledge will have to be done in a way that actually brings you result. So honor as a currency plays at any part of your life, whether you are trying to do business, whether you're trying to do stuff. I know that honor have brought me access, real big time access to the kind of assets that you don't even, you're thinking about it. So bring your extras, bring your knowledge, bring your value, and seed it up with some sprinkle of honor. Man, you will fly anywhere you are. So wherever you are, the things that I love how Ruth was able to actually bring that in, even in the normal day-to-day things that she does. Now let me circle back to that conversation I had with that woman who said she cannot influence the system in the US about her children's school. Today, she eventually became the governor of the board. She said, Coach, the kind of things I've been able to do in this school. I said, oh, Shay, I thought you said it was impossible. It's impossible because all of the things that we do, we just think to ourselves, oh, it's not possible. That's not how it is, in the abroad. The way we even say these things, as in, it just makes me laugh. Oh, no, you don't understand. The system here. I'm like, come on now. It is a system of value. In fact, it's even easier in places like this to actually make value a lot more reflective, right? You are able to really understand what it is. So all of these things that we do, when you listen to the things that is not there. So if you're in diaspora, you're listening to us, you're wondering, does it really work? And it works anywhere you are. Do I have to work extra shift? Yes, do extra, don't do SS. I just love it. Because like I said, Ruth Baba said, we do SS instead of extra. And I added, that excess will weigh you down. Extras is what elevates you. Extras is what elevates you. Of course, you agree with me that others have too much insight, too much insight. Ruth, somebody is listening to you now, and they are wondering, okay, so are you sure that I'm going to get value? I pay 100,000 naira. Yes, so I pay 170,000 naira for couple. How sure am I that this thing that they are saying here, I have not called Ruth, yesterday night to come and say, Ruth, this is how you're going to stay it. This is where you're going to stay it from, so that you will be able to convince people and all of that. Someone is listening to you and wondering, is this really real? Is this really true? Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. One very important thing I have learned is to always illustrate for my boys, as in when I'm explaining something for them. So this is how we illustrate TIP. How you have a building material market, right? Now, in that building material market, you go there because you want to build a house. And of course, we know that coach has said, are you building a mansion or or a shanty? So this is it. You go to a building material market. Everything you need for the house is there. You don't need to go outside. And that is what TIP is. Even if they don't have it in their store, their brother has it. They will tell you it's in the other store, like they do, So you want your tiles, you want your roofing materials, you want your interiors, you want your lighting, your fittings, everything is there. So I want to tell you that it was from TIP I got to know about Coach Ebuka, Coach Chidoze, Coach Ikalo, and all of them formed part of my journey. And I'm grateful to God, because Coach Wendy will not tell you she has it all. No, she will tell you this is where God has called me. And the truth of the matter is, you get more than you even pay for. And the truth is, you can't pay for value, really, and why will you get value? TIP is not an option, because whatever you make an option in your generation, the next generation will make it non-existent. So we must ensure that it is compulsory, and even putting the children in a mentoring system, it is like a silent rewiring, as in, let them just be going, let them know that they're accountable. And another important thing is, in TIP, you are changed from inside out, because there are a lot of anyhowness with us. But when you come to the TIP, you know that, like I said before, TIP helps to shine the light on those areas that you thought were light, meanwhile they were darkness. So you are able to know and differentiate that, oh, this thing is not normal. So, and then it helps you unlearn, relearn, and that's a good place to be. So in TIP, you evolve. Because if you don't evolve, you will dissolve, and you want to be relevant to
Mm.
anybody, not to yourself, not to your children, not to the society, not to the family at all. So TIP helps you evolve, and then your old self cannot recognize your new self. So that's what I have to say. I don't know what other words can convince you.
Did you hear that? If you don't evolve, you will dissolve because you will no longer become useful. That brings me to a scripture, that very beautiful, amazing scripture that says you are salt. We all quote it, we're salt of the earth. But there's something the Bible says. It says if you are not useful, if salt becomes useless, what happens? Salt is trampled on. Hey, salt is trampled on. So if you don't evolve, you will dissolve. Even to your children, you will just dissolve. Oh, please do not dissolve. Please do not be in a place where you are not transforming. All right, Ruth Baba, you can see your quote is raining in the comment section. Come on now. If you don't evolve, you will dissolve and you will become irrelevant. You will become like that salt that is trampled on, that the Bible talks about. You just trample on the salt. Salt that doesn't have meaning. Meanwhile, when salt is useful, salt is actually supposed to be in the soup and make it really taste good. There was something else that Ruth Baba said. He said, whatever you make an option in one generation becomes irrelevant or becomes non-existent in another generation. If you make TIP an option, by the next generation, your children are just going to look around it, right? And all of this, right? One of the things that we're struggling with is some of the things that were made options in our past. Our parents made options with. And today, we're looking at it, is it crazy okay? Is it not okay? For instance, self-development was an option when we grew up. Right now, it's almost non-existent in many quarters because you don't think you will see medical doctors, people who have, professors, gone through the line of that, but they are not developing self. It's not the same. The fact that you have attained the highest form of your career, you're not developing because it was an option for us. So right now, it's almost irrelevant or non-existent. So that's why people will question and say, why do you want me to come and learn parenting? Why do you want me to come and improve myself? People actually question you for that. And then you're wondering, okay, all right, so you're not supposed to improve yourself. As in, you are now begging people to improve themselves. It's no longer something that is key. So we are now begging people to now improve. Come on now. How did we get here? But when you have your children, like Ruth was saying, in mentorship sessions, for instance, I've been talking about mentorship, for a while now, and I say that a mentorless person, you are already in trouble. My husband and I decided, made rule that our daughter and our son will not marry a mentorless person. You are mentorless. You cannot identify. Part of the criteria is that you bring your mentor to us. That's part of the criteria. Our children already know. You have no mentor who can identify solidly behind you to say, this one, I have been part of raising him or her. Forget it. You have no business in my family. And it's not pride, it's self-preservation. So you don't say that they are very proud. Who do they think we are? We're just a tribe of kings. We think we are a tribe of kings. So we think we are all that, whatever it is that you want to say. So, and over the years, for our children, it's not strange to have a mentor. It's not strange to have a mentor. So for them now, they are going on a journey. They are going on a journey. Tomorrow, they didn't need to preach it to their children. They will just leave it. So right now, you are preaching it. We are preaching it to you to have a mentor. We are preaching it to you. Why? Because it was an option to us growing up. Right now, it's neither here nor there. You have it, you don't have it, it's not okay. And that's what we're having men today. A man who nobody can speak to. A woman who nobody can speak to. Woman with her own money. Nobody can tell you what to do. You have reached the apex of your life. You have arrived. Wisdom and foolishness joined together. Knowledge and foolishness joined together. How did Ruth say it? You are wise. You have knowledge, but you now have pride inside. On top of the two things, and they're not clashing. Where's the wisdom? All right. So it is now that place, right? That we're now, talking about. We're now saying, if we do this thing right, It's just like healing from trauma. Some of our children will never have any business attending therapy sessions because there was no drama that was going to cause trauma in their lives on our own parenting journey. We made it happen. That's how to deal with trauma. If your trauma is in that way, once you kill it in one generation, the next generation doesn't have access to it. But once you don't, it becomes something. Of course, that's how you see generational causes. People are being prayed for. Generational causes, you are kabashing for years. Generational causes and all of that. All right. So it is very key that we begin to actually run through. So that's why we're now begging people, join a mentoring session, join a coaching session. Let somebody teach you. You're like, what would they teach me? That's why we are where we are. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to our system. Anybody that cannot submit to someone, run away from the person. The person is a time bomb waiting to happen. A serious time bomb. I don't deal with people who are mentalists. I don't. Once I meet you, we're having a conversation, you start, talking about, you don't have a mentor, you don't have anybody you submit to, I go just promote my body. Because what it means is that you will fall and then you will drag me with you. I don't. I need somebody who can, I even need somebody who I can pray to God to talk to through you. So that I can say, God, touch this person's mentor to speak to them. If it's somebody that I cannot, that I cannot get to. So it is one of the things that you must be able to do. So, of course, we are here preaching this course today because, obviously, our parents made it an option. Or did they even make it an option? It was even non-existent in their own time. It was even almost non-existent. Now we're starting from the scratch. Don't let your children become those people who are, running in those kind of circles and in those kind of, places and all of that. Watch it. If you meet people who are mentored, the way they speak is different. The way they react is different. The way they know that they are accountable to someone. So they know that whatever happens out of this transaction, somebody is going to drag me. Like I tell my mentees, I shall drag you and I will drag you without mercy. So somebody is going to tell you, no, you got it wrong. But if you are in a place where nobody will ever tell you this thing, you are headed for serious disaster. Yes. And of course, this is where we're beginning to round off for this session. Ruth Baba, in your final words, talk to that person who is still hesitant to be able to get into the ark. And as we conclude, thank you.
Okay. TIP is a kingdom that should be planted in everybody's heart. Trust me. And in a kingdom, there's security because no kingdom leaves its wall, as in no kingdom is built without walls. And the world is hostile. There's so many things that you don't understand how to go about it, and just with knowledge and application of wisdom, you'll be able to, you have solutions to it. So like I said, it's not an option, TIP. Just come into the ark. I'm sure by now we have so many people that will give you a refund of your money if you don't get value by the first month of onboarding. So the truth is, and I just want to say this, for yadas that don't have their partners, especially their husbands, on board, just keep at it. Trust me. I used to be in that place where, how children build Lego and then they will just scatter it. You have gone to a certain level and then they scatter it. That was where I was before, because I didn't apply wisdom. Just be patient, keep doing it. And there's no how you be in TIP, you are implementing, you will not see working. It will show. I've had times where my husband has appreciated me because he has seen working in the boys. And
me too. I have also benefited from this. Please, let me talk. I have also benefited with some dollars. You know that kind of thing. I cannot. Where is Mr. Baba? Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I've been paid like this guy paid double for your work. That kind of thing. I shall not lie.
Exactly. In fact, when I was coming for the retreat for Masterpiece, on his own, he just said I was going to that he was going to send me something to give to coach. That is, as in, he has seen results. He's not in the yard, but because when you start, what helped me a lot was the fact that that passage where it says one will chase 1,000 and then two will chase 10,000. Let's learn not to even drive away the one that we're supposed to chase, because yes, because by the time you are fighting, you are resenting, how would your prayers, how would you be able to chase that 1,000? So let that be your guiding principle, that okay, you won't even chase the 1,000. Let me be managing the 1,000 instead of trying to look for 10,000 and then you can't even get the 1,000 that you should hold and be going with. So let's just be patient. We're on a journey. We're on a journey. You cannot go to a place where you cannot take others to a place where you yourself you've not been to. So yeah, can't give what you don't have. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Who agrees with me? Masterpiece women, are you here? Are you here? This is, please let me do another session of the Friday. This is a masterpiece woman. Being in the space to mentor Ruth Baba has been a pride. Please let me take some of my flowers, because I cannot but take all of the flowers. Ruth Baba, I am so proud of you. Thank you so much for doing this with me. Of course, you know that I love you, I honor you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for following with so much energy. And when we talk about following, we're talking about following with so much sincerity, so much I know where I'm going. Don't distract me kind of thing. Just leave me. Let me be moving. All right. I know what I'm listening to. I want to actually be listening to it. Thank you so much. There have been so many aha moments in this place. If you have been listening, you will see the aha. This last part is aha. Ruth said, don't chase away the 10,000. Why you're the 1,000? Why you're trying to chase 10,000? It's true that we've been told that 10,000 shall be chased. But while you are chasing to bring the 10,000, don't chase away 1,000. So if you're here, you are listening. You're saying, "No, my husband is not." My husband, register on your own. Oh, my wife is not. I have others who wives are not in the inner circle too, right? They are men. Register on your own. You will still, the effect will still be there. Over the weekend, my dad was in surgery, and I was, I saw a yada, who was part of the surgeons who performed the surgery. As I came out, I was like, coach, what are you doing here? I was like, that's my dad. And, we were talking, and he said something to me. He said, I watched my wife transform, and I was scared. This guy, I was just looking at this woman. And she said at the time, I said, this woman has left me. So I had to call her and say, well, she said, funny enough, this person didn't mention, hey, I'm going to somewhere. Oh, you have been at the back. You are the only one that is left. Well done, smart woman with her own money and her own knowledge. It's no longer woman with her own money. It's now woman with her own knowledge and her pride. So you're now running off and just, making everybody feel that you're the only one. He said, this woman, I just saw her transformed. And I said to myself, there's something happening to this woman. I want to go and look at it. She said, you have mentioned you a few times and everything. I've watched a few times on Omo. I ran. With all my business. And this guy is busy. Trust me when I say so. I ran. He said, but here we are. He turned to my dad and said, just please greet coach for me. In fact, you don't understand, sir. Great coach. And that's it. And this is me saying shout out to Yadas. Yadas are everywhere, every corner. You just don't like this. Don't like this. Shout out to you guys. And thank you so much, Ruth Baba, for sharing this last part. This last part was instructive to someone, and somebody needed to hear it. Stop chasing away 10,000. Start with your 1,000. Start with you. Stop looking for who to change. It is in our looking for who to change that we make errors and stop it. Ruth, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. I know that your time is extremely valuable, and I know what you put in to actually be here. Of course, my love to Mr. Baba, and yes, and the boys. Thank you so much. And yes. Yeah. All righty. Yes, you have just listened to Ruth Baba. Ruth Baba came all the way from the UK to share on my intentional parenting journey. Who else? Who else? Who else? Listen to Ruth Baba. See, everybody is in the yard. I have confirmed. I used to say to Yadas, your pastors are in the yard, oh, don't be deceived. So that's how a Yada went to church. And then he came back, said, I saw for three of our pastors. They were just talking like Yadas, talking like Yadas. And after service, I went up and said, please, are you guys in the yard? They said, yes, now we're in the inner circle. She said, coach, what you used to say is true. Even my pastors were in the yard, they are not still talking. Everybody is here. Come in into the ark. It's coming into the ark and work with you. Most importantly, while you listen to my intentional parenting journey, one of the things that you must do is to pick out the things that is speaking to you. But you know one thing that I know, the inner circle speaks to you. It speaks to you at the point of your journey. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter, whether you're raising children who are small, who are young, who are, and all of that. Everywhere you are, it speaks to you. It ministers to you. That's one of the things that I say. I say you get it to the point where you begin to minister from the point of a minister. You're a parent. You minister from the office of a parent. You are not just in the position of a parent. There are two different things, and I explained that in the skills of extra. Of course, if you are not in the yard, how will you know what the skills of extra is now? Come into the yard. All right, so this is your call to register now. Remember that the 100,000 naira per annum is valid up until the increase happens. So take advantage now. Pay 5,000 naira to book. You can pay the remaining 95,000 naira before the 1st of December 2024. Now, here is the caveat. We don't admit people more than once a year. We don't admit people more than only once. If you come in after 1st of December 2024, we shall not be opening the ark for you. According to Yadas, even Noah does not have the key to the ark. When we get locked in, we stay in. So once we get locked in on that 1st of December, we're not going to have you in. We have 10 communities already onboarded. Cohort A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. What are you waiting for? And of course, these thousands of people cannot be wrong. How do they want to be wrong? If they are wrong, how come they are wrong? All right. So it is not about what it is that don't leave what everybody says. Just come in. You see the naysayers, do they learn parenting? You heard Ruth Baba when she was talking about relocating, and she said, I left all the naysayers, I faked my relocation, and I was hearing some things in the inner circle, I was moving. By the time she was relocating, 2 years in, I'm settled, I'm moving, I'm together, everything I needed to do, I'm doing. And then people are now asking us, how did you people do it? See, knowledge sets you apart. And these are things that you will learn in the inner circle. So it's not just parenting, you're learning everything. Everything. Who agrees with me that the journey of an ancient Yada is different from whatever journey it is, right? I think we should have more ancient Yadas. Coach Malala, where are you guys? We should have more ancient Yadas chronicle their journey for us. Ruth Baba have been in the inner circle from the inception till now. And one of the things that Ruth says is, see, we're here, we're just, we're just here. Shout out to you, ancient Yadas. Ancient Yadas are the very first set of people who started the inner circle with us, and all of them are still here. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Somebody said when you have a 100% retainership over the years, of course, you know that there's something you're doing there that is very, very instructive. That shows you that we're not just playing here. Nah, it's not some kind of play. It is, the season. See the kind of deep knowledge that we had today. Please remember to share this with your family and friends, and don't forget, book your slot, renew your slot, do whatever it is that you need to do to remain in the ark. Don't find yourself out. Don't find yourself out so that you will not be out. And of course, remember that one of the things that you must do, you must, put in your place that don't make this place an option. When you make it an option, it becomes irrelevant in the next generation. TIP is the kingdom that should be planted in everyone's heart. This kingdom does not leave its wall unguarded. There is security. Yeah. What a session. Thank you so much, everybody. And please, in the comment section, all of the flowers to Ruth Baba. Of course, shout out to you guys. Shout out to everyone. See you again tomorrow at 8, where we're going to be sharing another beautiful journey of my intentional parenting journey. See ya and have an amazing, amazing week. Don't forget, It's only in the yard that you actually hear this every day. I am rooting for you. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m.